Dang, is that at your house, Josh?
I feel like Garth
Yes.
Brooks song.
That's what I was about to say.
it's
3:30 in the
21.
morning.
Yeah, the
and I was so
21 and now it's
excited.
11 o'clock.
You want to say hi?
City's looking like a ghost town.
Hey. Wait, everybody. Say hi.
Hi, Bailey. Hi, Bailey.
Baby.
Oh, we're live. We're just skipping the music, huh?
Well, we'll play the music or the video when it's time for that.
Hello.
Just go ahead and put it on, and we'll talk as the info starts rolling in on this game. So if you are already joining us live, we traditionally don't just go live, but if you have been watching Monday Night Football, there has been some sad breaking news. They have suspended the game currently. Damar Hamlin missed a tackle. Or he went to tackle somebody, missed it, but like he got hit in his chest and then stood up and then kind of collapsed. And they did CPR on the field, brought out an ambulance. He's currently on life support on his way to the hospital. So say prayers for him. It's a super sad situation going on. So this is out of regular form, but this is like currently happening. So
yeah, it's in the moment, so it's all.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. But anyways, go ahead and take us through the live spiel, Matt, so we can get people commenting.
AFC sounds fine. AFC sounds fine. AFC. Are you ready for the fight? Nighty night, lights out, no Tyson. About to be the clash of the Titans. Strike like a lightning bolt. You feel the ground pounding, that might be the coast. Quick like a joke, like to hit when provoked. Don't you doubt that. That's a Jaguar to a house cat. That's an outcast to a whole squadron. If you talking Houston, then we've got a problem. You'll probably get the horns if you mess with the cattle. Sit back in your saddle and get ready for the fan battle.
Hello, everybody, and we thank you for tuning in. We'll get the audio started in a second, but like we said in pre-production, of course, it's comments are already rolling in. Damar Hamlin collapsed on the field. We're getting like updates as they happen, so if you're the praying type, definitely say a prayer for him right now. Literally went to make a tackle and looks like he got hit in the chest, but it didn't look like he got hit too hard. It stood up, like no big deal, and then just collapsed. And so as this podcast goes on, there's probably going to be stuff breaking, and so we'll be kind of checking in. If you guys in the chat hear anything, make sure you comment. Yeah, super sad news, and then so it's going to be hard to come off that one. I know the game is currently suspended. Has anybody heard if they're resuming play or what's going on?
Our time has not been set yet.
They're still haven't played.
I would imagine there's conversations with the league office trying to determine what are they going to do.
Well, I'd be very curious. I mean, obviously,
to be fair, they could take Saturday.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's no question they're thinking about not playing the rest of it today.
Sure.
I don't know what they can do because this is a game that has very serious
first
magnitude.
quarter.
Oh yeah, but how many minutes?
There's only 6 minutes left in the first quarter. This game's just started.
Yeah.
But like this game has very serious like seeding implications. This game is very important for the remainder of the contest, for the season. I don't know what they can do. There's definitely talks going on about that, but I don't know how this late in the season, especially they like to have the last week of the season, most everybody play the same day, but definitely Sunday's the last day they can play. They don't do Mondays. You play this, if they schedule for another day, now you're on a short week. I don't know what they do. During
COVID, they did random games if they had to, if the team got, what was the verbiage we used for COVID? I don't remember anymore.
COVID?
Quarantined, I guess.
Well, they would, but that was the thing, is that they had to try, when it came with COVID, they had to try to get people within the 17 weeks, right? I guess now 18. But the thing is, this is week 17. Like they can't
Yeah.
push a whole season like back another week to accommodate. I don't know what they can do.
The problem is the games that this game and then the games that both of these teams play next week.
Next week would be
are
it's
very
a condensed short,
impactful.
yeah, because it's already a short week for them. You have to make it an even shorter week, and it's just. I think right now, I mean, they're obviously talking about it, but
I know the scenarios are.
Telling the head referee is on the phone with somebody.
Yeah.
So like I said, I would imagine there's a lot of conversations with higher ups.
I know the scenario is a lot different, but a few years back when the 49ers and the Ravens played the Super Bowl, they suspended the game because of the power outage.
Yeah, but it was delayed for an hour. That was it.
Well, I know.
Like,
I'm saying the scenarios are way different.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that.
And the other difference is like that
somebody's
was
lives
well, that's the other thing too, is that's the Super Bowl. If you need to, you can postpone the Super Bowl for a day to whatever you need, because there's no game after that.
Yeah, for another 8 months. You got 8 months worth of leeway to push that game back. If
that's the problem with this one, is that one is so impactful in terms of like
to the Super Bowl,
who's going to be the one seed. Well, who's going to be the one seed? Who's this? There's a lot of seeding implications, and on top of that, you want to try to make sure they don't have the short week.
Well,
and the other thing too is you're also looking, and from the PR perspective, you don't want to like, okay, let's go ahead and start doing it. God forbid the worst happens. Like that's not a good PR move either.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
the
Derek
only
says, I think if good news comes back, they'll play. But I have a feeling.
How long do they wait?
That's
Supposedly
what they're waiting on now.
They have them on life support, is what.
Yeah. I think that's why we're waiting, is that we're waiting to get some good news.
He can't breathe.
So I guess another option would be to take the bill, whoever the Bills and the Bengals play this weekend, and push that game back to Monday night.
I don't know if they can do that. That's the thing,
they can do what they want, right?
They could, but the thing is they don't do that because the wild card games are pretty much locked in, and that so you're going to make somebody play Monday and then Saturday.
Yeah,
so
I think
you're already gonna like shorten their week again too. So it's like there's a lot of things that I'm sure they're talking about this, and we're just speculating. But there's the reason why there's a reason why it's so tricky, it's so complicated, is because they spend a lot of time making sure everybody plays Sunday on that last week of the season, so that way when you have like the Saturday game or whatever, like I imagine they could maybe flex a team to the Monday night game, because now it's super wild card weekend, they have more days to play with. But I from what I understand, the TVs lock in those deals of whatever games they get. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, let's get the audio portion of the podcast started and talk about our teams. You're fine. And as this unfolds, I guess we'll find out more. Like I said, if you are watching, we can see all of your comments. So make sure you comment on the side if anybody hears any breaking news, because we're obviously
breaking as it goes.
Yeah, this is a unusual situation.
Yeah. We're obviously watching ourselves and not watching the game. So, yeah, it's a tough situation, but yeah, I don't know how to get started from here, but we're going to try. Y'all ready?
Let's do it.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the AFC South Fan Battle Podcast. My name is Samantha Burnett. Joining us this evening are commentators for the Jaguars. In first place, we have Josh Allen.
Hey, what's up, losers?
Joining us for the Titans, we have Adrian Ha.
I think it's only fitting that the third best Titans commentator come on for this one
third
tonight.
Best.
I mean, the Titans are only bringing their third best these days, so let's keep it going.
And joining us from the Thunderdome, we're going to call it, because when Josh Sr., his audio is on, he's in the middle of a storm right now, so shout out to him for kicking it in the storm, literally. Representing the Colts.
He's at a Garth Brooks concert. It's not there. Ain't no tornado warning where he is.
Where the body's at, George? Where the body at?
Representing the Colts, we have Josh Sr.
Well, since my team is 4-11-1, and I guess I can weather the storm then. So I'm on here weathering the storm for the team.
Can someone take a screenshot of me and Josh Sr. and send it to Tanner Doty so he can tell that we are not the same person and don't look alike?
Yes. Yes.
Little inside the business joke there of Tanner, if you're watching. Ha ha.
And representing the poor Texans, we have Matt Briggs.
Hey, I won my Super Bowl last week. I'm good. I don't care if we win another game. I'm good. My Super Bowl winning.
Well, listen, we talked about it in the live pre-production and stuff. Currently unfolding is Bills player Damar Hamlin went down. So as news comes in on this episode, because we are live, we'll be updating people. So if you hear us talking about that, prayers for him. Seriously, that was scary to watch. And from last we heard, he was put on life support, and we're currently awaiting to hear if they're going to suspend the game or what they're going to do. It's really, really crazy. And then also, Jags just found out today. I was shocked that it didn't come out earlier, but I guess on January 30th, Uche Nweri, our former offensive lineman, passed away. And so he was very active with the Jags fans, and he had a podcast. I think it was called The Offense, like offensive lineman, like he was being offensive. So, prayers to his family too. It's just really sad, man. It's really sad.
Uche was not a guy like he's not going in the Ring of Honor. He's not going in the Hall of Fame. But I loved Uche Nweri for a couple reasons. That he would interact with fans, and he would always tell fans when they were speaking from a place of ignorance and have some dumb, stupid football opinion, and basically say, "You're a moron. You don't know what you're talking about. You never played."
The people's champ.
Shut up. He was pretty awesome.
Yeah, the Jags community definitely, like as a whole, like the fan base mourns that, especially because, like Josh was saying, it's not so much that you're losing, an all-star player. I mean, he was in our hearts, because any players that are still active in the community, we are such a young team. It's, they're stars in our hearts. So prayers for his family.
I know the second part's been missing, but apparently AED was administered with CPR on Damar Hamlin. So that's never.
I don't know what that means.
AED.
They had to shock his heart and give him CPR.
The defibrillator.
Oh, okay. Well,
Wow.
we'll see what happens with that. Like I said, if you are watching this live stream, if you comment as stuff unfolds, that'd be great. Otherwise, we'll go ahead. That's pretty much NFL news too. I guess there's not much going on in the league.
When did JJ? Was that last week? Did you guys talk about?
Yeah, we talked about.
Okay.
We already covered that.
I couldn't remember when he said he was retiring.
Yeah.
I figured your kid was crying endlessly.
He was.
Yeah,
So
we
did I.
discussed the second best defensive lineman from the AFC South behind Dwight Freeney. We discussed him last week.
Oh, you're gonna make Matt cry. Look at
Okay.
him.
I mean, he's good, but he was no Big John Henderson, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. No Dexter Powell, right?
Right?
Well, yeah, we're in week 17, getting ready, recapping week 17, I should say, getting ready, last week of football coming up. And of course, the way that it was intended, the Titans and the Jags battling it out for the number 1 spot. But in the meantime, we'll go ahead and kick it off with the Colts at the Giants.
Ooh, wrong team.
Sorry, we're going out of order tonight,
You
Matt.
are.
I'm gonna do Titans
good
Jags
there.
last, and plus I gotta make sure because
You mean Texans,
Josh-
Jags left?
Texans, Titans, some team
Texans,
whose
Colts.
name starts with a T. We beat them all.
I'm trying to break it up by next week's division so y'all can all. Anyways, we're gonna start with the Colts because Josh is in the line of fire and in a tornado warning right now. We don't want to lose him. I want to make sure he can hunker down if he gets the warning. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Josh.
Before we begin, give me my theme music.
Oh, which one?
The sad one.
The sad
Oh. Okay, hold on. There you go. Go ahead.
That's what it felt like when Nick Foles went down.
Oh man, and Thibodeau.
I tell you, who wasn't sad about Nick Foles going down?
Jesus
was,
Christ.
Yeah.
Tip-
Wow.
Jeez Louise, that guy.
But
Listen,
do you
so
think
did he-
he knew that?
Yeah, that was my.
He briefly looked to the side and kept going.
But I think he quit after he actually saw him start.
No, here's the problem, and I don't want to interrupt
It's
Josh
just a
Senior's
bad
thunder.
look.
He's doing it whether he knew or not at that time. I can give you a little bit of benefit of the doubt there, but then as Nick Foles is basically being dragged off the field, limp and almost dead. He's over at the sidelines looking at the fans doing
Yeah,
the
like
little,
go sleep.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
that's
I
the
didn't see
thing that if I'd seen him and I was an offensive lineman, I don't care what penalty I get. I don't care if I'm getting ejected. I am beating
Well,
that.
and that's essentially what Jeff Saturday said. Jeff
Yeah, he
Saturday
did.
was like, the
Nobody
disrespect
did
was
nothing.
real. Yeah.
If that was a hockey game, I'm telling you right now, man, like the quarterback's like the goalie in hockey, and all it takes is one little bump, and like the whole teams will drop the gloves and just start wailing on a dude.
That should
And
be
I wish
allowed in
that
the
fighting
NFL.
was allowed in football, to be perfectly honest. I really do. I wish a little bit of fighting was
Yeah.
allowed. I wish they had
It'd be
like a
like-
penalty,
it'd be like-
out for 2 series or something. If you
Well,
fought
did
a
he
guy,
get a penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct with that?
He got, I think, a penalty for roughing the passer.
I don't think
Jesus,
you
I
get
hope.
it. I don't think you get it if you're on the sideline like the way he was. I don't think.
But he
you
was
get
doing a
flagged.
snow angel next to him.
No, that
for, like,
that's not
35
unnecessary roughness. That's
that's
unsportsmanlike
okay.
conduct.
That's what I'm saying.
or
He
whatever.
didn't
It was a
get
clean hit.
sportsman?
It was a clean hit.
But like unsportsmanlike conduct, unnecessary roughness, like that doesn't happen on the sideline. I thought you were talking about like the go to sleep thing. No, when you're on your sideline, your bench, I don't think they flag anything like that.
Well, go ahead, Josh Senior. Break down the game for us.
It ain't much to break down. We got our ass whooped 38-10. Offense is the same as it was the 16 weeks. The same as it was 16 weeks. So yeah, I'm like Matt. Just get this. It's one more game left. Get it over with. The defense can only hold up again. I mean, we can only do so much for the offense. But the offense ain't doing anything for the defense by putting points on the board. The only points came on the boards when Sam Ellinger came in and threw a touchdown to Pittman. Otherwise, it was just a bad game. It was just ugly.
Well,
I know that. So this was like how we did the Jaguars all last year. It's like sucks to recap your game.
Yes.
But as far as rumors for the future, there have been rumors that I've seen on Twitter and stuff this week about the Colts going after Derek Carr.
Yes.
No, that's not happening. That's not a rumor. That's not even happening.
If
It's
it
all
were
over
to happen.
Titans. It's all over Titans social media too. So it's like I feel like every team that is like maybe questionable about what their quarterback's going to be is like put a freaking Photoshop of Derek Carr.
Derek Carr already came out and says that he either wants to play for Las Vegas or Houston or he's going to retire. That's it. The words came out of his
For real?
Well, here's the thing: is that like did the
Is he
Raiders?
from Houston or
Did the
something?
Raiders?
kind of.
Did the Raiders just bench him because of the injury?
How can you
thing?
kind of
like,
be from Houston? Like you, Matt, because you live in Kansas, but you're
You
from.
better watch your mouth.
Like you're kind
Daniel.
of from Houston.
You better watch your mouth, Daniel. All right. No, well, his brother was drafted here when he was like in elementary, so he
was
grew
the
up
first
here.
quarterback for your franchise.
Yeah, well, of course I knew that, but
Yeah.
so he kind of grew up here, kind of didn't, but yeah.
Yeah,
Super
I
Bowl
mean, no,
champion.
we're not linked to him. We're not linked. We got the top 5 pick. There's no way we're gonna trade for another quarterback. I think it's our season, our time to get a quarterback out of the draft and move
I
forward.
heard
Who you
Todd
gonna get?
Downing is going to get hired as your head coach, and that he's going to bring Tom Brady along with him.
You can kiss my ass.
Do it.
You can kiss my ass. Yeah, no. Chris already said Pep Hamilton is a coach, so yeah, y'all can kiss my ass with that. But the rumor was Jim Harbaugh from Michigan, so hopefully that'll be the case.
I'm hearing that he's going to Denver.
Okay.
I heard that.
I thought Sean Payton was going to Denver.
No, I've heard that Sean Payton wants what's his name
Russell
on
Wilson.
his no. Sean Payton wants what's his name on his coaching staff.
Oh, Vic.
Vic Fangio, and that's going to be a big problem going to Denver. So they don't want to go there. And from what I understand, the Broncos are planning to reach out to Jim Harbaugh, like aggressively go after him. One might say that they're targeting Jim Harbaugh.
So breaking news from Twitter. Currently trending on Twitter is hashtag call the game. So the people are begging them to call this game.
Skip Bayless is going to fire too. I guess he made some a bad call. But yeah.
What did he say?
What did Skip?
I
What
don't
Skip
know.
Bayless did?
Yeah,
What?
there's a bunch of people like Jacob Hester, a lot of people talking about like you can't
Because he said, Not exactly sure what happened. Players on both teams are shaken, blah, blah, blah. And then he said, I've seen many horrific injuries suffered on a football field, yet I've never seen a reaction like this. In every other situation I witnessed or covered, the game was always went on fairly quickly. The attitude was, hey, that's football. For these players, this was different. No doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game, but how? This is late in the season. A game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems irrelevant.
Yeah, Rex Chapman, Jacob Hester, a lot of big names are like, you got to call this.
Yeah.
And then our buddy
Manuel
over at
Sanders.
Houston radio, Sean Pendergast, the man, the myth, the legend, love him, retweeted a guy that said, y'all really got to stop quote tweeting Skip's tweets. That shit empowers him and keeps him going.
Yeah.
Andrew Whitworth is posting a lot of stuff on Twitter.
With the CK.
Yeah.
Skip Bayless.
All right. Well, listen.
Shannon Sharp.
Like I said, this show's
Nick
going to be
Wright,
a little.
They all need to go away.
It's going to be a little unusual because of all of this that's currently happening. But Josh Senior, do you have anything else to wrap up?
Go Texans.
I feel like we're about to get some sort of news here in a second or two.
Go Texans next week. Yeah, go Texans next week. Yeah, we made Daniel Jones look like a NFL, a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Oh yeah,
on Sunday.
So did the
Danny
Jaguars. The Jaguars did too. Don't worry.
Wow.
Yeah, Danny. Yeah, thank you, freaking Jaguars. Not only are you going to win the division from me, you're going to cost me a stupid fantasy football championship because I decided to start Trevor Lawrence instead of Danny Dimes in fantasy. You guys jerks. And the Colts did it too. The Colts let Danny Dimes go off.
Well, I don't want to hear anything from you. I'm in the championship game, and I had to sit Derrick Henry. So.
Yeah, I have Derrick Henry too, and the guy I'm going against pretty much starts all Cowboys. So this was just everything wrong. Everything went wrong. Goddamn. Anyway.
All right. Listen, since you're talking, Cowboys Titans. You said it's you talking, and you said your buddy starts all Cowboys. So there you go. Good segue, John.
Okay.
Take it away.
Well, okay. So I have some Cowboy friends in my life, and
I'm sorry.
They were saying they were telling like, dang, you guys ain't gonna be starting anybody for us. And I said, well, let me give you the rundown. I said, first of all, the game doesn't mean anything for us because the only game that matters for us is the Jacksonville game. But let's say the Titans desperately needed this win, and we started everybody available. You're still getting the same lineup that we did against Dallas. We don't have anybody left on this team. So guess what? That was the best thing we could field. So I hope you Jaguars are feeling really happy because what you just saw, what we did against Dallas, that's probably the best effort that you're going to see.
You know what, though? I was shocked.
Breaking news. Hold on.
I think they called the game. They're packing up.
They're playing.
They're playing?
Yeah, they're playing.
Yeah, while you were talking, somebody was talking to both coaches on a cell phone. Both the head coaches were sitting in a locker room, both on a call. I'm thinking this game's probably getting called. Probably a right decision, but I don't know.
They're packing up gear. They got to be calling this game. Like they're taking gear off the field.
Oh, we have Joe Burrow and several players walking to the Bills locker room right now. So yeah, it looks like they're not playing.
That's the right call. That's the right call, even if it creates havoc for.
Well, I mean, oh my goodness. Right now it's like, okay, they're calling the game, but I want to I'm really worried about his health at this point because that's really not a good sign if the guy is. If they're calling the game, this guy's really, really, really seriously injured, really bad.
Yeah, if they don't have, he's got to be at or close to the hospital at this point, right? I would think
he's at the hospital. That's been reported. It was 10 minutes ago. He's at the hospital.
From Craig Spencer, MD, as an ER doc, I can 100% tell you that after a cardiac arrest, CPR, and AED, there is no way any provider will say Damar Hamlin is okay anytime soon. Cancel the game at NFL. Let the people be together. So,
bro, there's all these stories coming out. The pictures of I guess he went to Pitt, and he organized these toy drives. People are hammering the NFL, all the different NFL Twitter accounts hard, saying this is a human being. Who cares?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. But here's the thing. The NFL stopped playing. They haven't resumed playing. They haven't done
they're telling them to call the game completely.
Okay, right, but
hey,
listen,
wait, hold on.
nothing's gonna.
Hold on.
I don't know.
Damar Hamlin has been intubated and is currently
Oh,
listed
boy,
in
yeah.
critical condition.
Well, that's what they said. They said he wasn't breathing on his own. So yeah, it's not surprising that they had to intubate him. But here's the thing. Okay, the NFL the NFL just said, hey, we're stopping the game. I'm sure lots of conversations have to happen, and it's not going to be very quick. There has to be a lot of people that get brought in to discuss things. They say this way. It's not so quick as that. I think that
No, I get it.
Hey, look, I'm not gonna harp on the NFL for taking an hour to decide to call the game as opposed to 5 minutes. It's not.
No, I don't. No. No one's saying that. I think people
Yeah.
are just making sure that the NFL understands that your customers, us who watch your games, go to your games, buy your merch, we're telling you, call this off. Like, postpone it. Do not try to play.
Okay, well, and I'm not gonna accuse you of anything, but yes, I know that we love to jump to the accusations and pointing fingers and shame
sure.
on yous as fast as we can, and I'm not.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I'm just looking through Twitter. I haven't seen that yet, but
I'm not the kind of person that likes to endorse that mentality if it's not warranted.
But I do think it's cool to see all the former players, all personalities in the media.
Well, that's one of those
shows
things
that everyone's saying without being accusatory yet, just saying, "Hey, NFL, just so you know, this is what we think you should do." Right?
I mean, if you're the NFL, all you gotta do is look at the Bills players. Not even the Bills, even the Bengals players. There are tears coming down.
Yeah, the pictures of Josh Allen sitting on the bench, he's just like.
I mean, it gave me goosebumps. Like it's not a good sign at all. Yeah, so sorry, John, didn't mean to hijack your portion. Go ahead.
Well, listen, I mean the Titans season has been over for a long time. There's really not much to talk about there. So this is breaking news as it's happening.
I thought you guys were getting some starters back on defense, though.
Every day a new starter on defense goes on IR. So I don't know what you're talking about.
I haven't followed.
Every day somebody goes on IR. It was like, oh, great, it's over. I think last year they set the record for the most people to suit up for a team, and then we broke it again this year. Right. This team is just it's just so it's rough, and it because it feels like it's one of those things where it's one thing when the team just plays terrible and they're just awful, but it's when they don't have anybody to even suit up, when they're just suiting up just people off the street and they're starting 2 days, and it's you talk about Dobbs, he's only been there for a couple days and he goes in that's the whole team. The whole team is every position is somebody who has not even they weren't there in August. Half the team was they were just signing out of nowhere because
the Jags have had a couple of them. Yeah, they brought up Taco Charlton today
it's everywhere, and it's so bad. It's really, really bad. Yeah, it's so to me it's just listen, I know 18 weeks. I know you guys. I don't know. It's 17. I know it's only one more week, but last year and this year, I just kind of got fatigue of just this is just too long, and I just can't wait for the season to be over. I know in Jacksonville, you guys are just you're excited, you're ready to keep it going, you're up high. But even last year, when it's we were gonna get a bye, I was this season needs to be done. I just think 18's too long.
And they were talking about at one point doing two bye weeks during the year for all the teams too.
It's just too much.
I agree with you to a certain extent. It does feel like Jesus, how many games are we playing? Yeah, I don't know.
Well, man. It's not only that. It's because the teams are only playing one more week, but it's as a viewer, you're watching every week. I mean, you're watching 18 weeks, and I know it's I wasn't really fatigued after 17, but for some reason the extra week is just it's draining.
I think this year I've been watching more football than I have the past 2 or 3 years. So I don't know. I feel that a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It's a little bit.
It does feel a lot. Anyway, yeah. Titans stink.
So,
they're awful. Congrats
John,
on the division title.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. So you're saying the Jags are going to win next week?
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't they?
Or this week, I should say.
Why wouldn't they? Give me a is there any kind of hope you can give me? And
Absolutely
second of all,
not.
if you're unless you're a Titans fan like me, if you're just a football watcher, you don't want this Titans team in the playoffs. Jacksonville's playing really good right now. You don't want to watch that. You don't want to watch a scrimmage. You don't want to watch a practice squad team playing getting blown out by Baltimore or whoever. You want to watch Jacksonville get blown out by Baltimore. That's what you want to watch.
Yeah, supposedly the Titans the Titans 7-game skid is what cost the game being on Sunday night. They wanted to put a different matchup.
Well, yeah, and I don't blame them. I mean, this team is so so hard to watch. It's so bad. Like it's like because you just know going in like it's not going to be good, and then it's almost worse when you watch it.
I like Josh Dobbs as a person though, so shout out to him.
It's fine. I think, and here's the thing: the guy hasn't been there long, and I think
even though I hate the Titans. But.
Well, and here's the thing: like he's been with the team very long, whatever. And the guy showed up, and I think that all of the Malik Willis people in Titans fandom, like you guys can shut up now. My God, I've been hearing you guys all year talking about we need to be starting Malik Willis, get rid of Tannehill. It's like
John.
first of all,
Speaking of that, here's a question for you.
What's up?
Here's a question for you, Agent Hall. Are you surprised Willis isn't going to start the next game?
No, because of what you saw Dobbs did last week. Like there's nobody who could watch what we did against the Cowboys and what Malik Willis has done. Like Malik Willis, we only let him throw 9 times versus Houston. That was it. We let him throw 9 times versus Houston because like we don't trust him. He hangs onto the ball far too much in the pocket, and Josh Dobbs in one half of football pretty much took his spot. I think the Malik Willis project is over as it should be. I'm seeing games suspended now. Sorry. I'm not seeing temporarily suspended. I'm seeing suspended, and people are leaving. Yeah. Is that what we're hearing?
Yeah,
it's done.
Like.
Yeah,
nothing official though, which is weird.
Right. Well, yeah, but yeah. So like, it's just one of those things where it's just a bummer because it's like I didn't have a lot of hope for this squad coming in. You guys can go back and look at it. I thought that first of all, we were most of us were wrong about the Colts. I thought the Colts were the guaranteed division winner, but I thought going into this, like the people that we have, we're going to just sputter out on that stuff. But we really started our defense really, really was really good through the first 8 weeks of the season. Like that pass rush or we were so good against the run. You couldn't run against it at all. Like these players were really playing really well, and then just these injuries just keep piling up. It just feels like we don't have the opportunity to really like fully realize it or complete the way it started. It just kind of sputters out, and it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
Okay, so officially will not be resumed tonight, and it said the league will speak with both teams about picking a new date to play the game. But I'm guessing that they're not.
I don't know how they do it. Yeah. So. But that's the other thing too is that the implications for this next week, it's just I don't know what they could do because both teams are in the playoffs. So theoretically, you could have them play later in the week, but you can't have them. Well,
I wonder.
You can't have them both play.
What was the score at the time?
7-3
Cincy.
Yeah.
So Nick Wright is going to be very much in favor of them calling the score as it is right now.
Well, I would say call it a tie, if nothing.
I don't know.
If they're both in favor to go to the playoffs.
No, because then that also impacts the standings too. Like there's division titles, there's the 1 seed on the line. These are the sorts of things that it's like there's a lot of things on the line that you don't want to.
At this point. I guess we'll find out more.
This doesn't sound morbid, but what do they do if the guy dies?
Right. I don't even want to speculate on that at this point. It's just
I think that's why it took so long to say that you're going to postpone the game because, like I said, you got to find out what's going to happen because there's so much involving this game.
Yeah.
That the number 1 seed.
Well, that's the thing too, because it's okay, let's call it a tie. Now you're gifting Kansas City the 1 seed if they beat whoever they're playing, the Raiders. Okay, they're going to beat the Raiders. Now you've just given Kansas City the 1 seed because you refuse to play this game out and just call it a tie.
And
that's the reason why it's tough to do that.
Listen, I know it pales in comparison to a man's life.
Yeah, I know.
We're also talking about millions of dollars.
But there's also
from a home playoff game.
Isn't there legal ramifications for these things too? And I'm sure they have these sorts of things in their rules. This, that, whatever. They go all through details, but there are sort of legal things involved with this as well.
Right. Well, that's what they also have to worry about TV contracts, sponsor contracts. Like the NFL can't just say, "Oh, it's canceled, it's postponed." I mean,
you can. There are. Well, that's the thing is when you talk about COVID. COVID was they had opportunities to cancel games outright. They never actually did. They didn't end up playing every game, but they did have hey, look, this year we could miss we could miss a game. We could do this. There obviously is something that allows for you to not play all the games. It's just with this one having such high impact on how the postseason will play out, there's probably going to take a lot more interest in it. If this is Arizona Cardinals versus the Atlanta Falcons like this last Sunday, this game doesn't get played again. They just don't play it.
Yeah,
but
because this one has these,
but because this has implications, they do need to
Everyone in attendance will get a refund. Is what I guess what they're saying.
I should
Yeah.
hope so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen. Let's move on. Get back into our, the game suspended for tonight. We'll find out more tomorrow. I'm assuming, but and if breaking news comes, like I said, once again as it comes. But Jaguars Texans. Listen, this is like an off episode because of everything that's happened tonight. So I'm not even gonna. I'm just gonna let y'all duke it out. Go ahead.
I mean, was there a
Don't
Duke
get-
out? I'm knocked out dead.
Don't get excited when I say Dukes, John.
Right. Yeah.
So I'd like to go first, if at all
Go
possible.
ahead.
I have a quote from the Jaguars social media team. I thought was just perfect. I think this sums up what happened in the Jacksonville Houston game. So I'm just gonna let it rip, and I'll let Matt give his commentary after this.
Hate me or love me, you watched. That's all you could do. Thank you.
I mean, the Texans, they couldn't do anything, man. They had an interception. I think Trevor Lawrence almost gifted you guys a couple of pick sixes because he sort of had a weird game. But, once the Jags sort of locked in and they had a scoop and score and ETN was, breaking off big runs, I think it was just,
Yeah.
Was what do you I mean, this is going to sound terrible, but Matt, was that the Texans' best effort? Like, do you think that was
No.
really like their best punch?
No.
It didn't feel like it.
No, I think they're on cruise control. They were glad they won the Titans game. Like, look, if we won this game, there would have been a lot of implications to that number one pick. I'm not saying we stood a chance. I thought it was better. We played better this whole game, this whole season, and it looked like we just, So all right,
It didn't feel like the same team that I watched in person beat the Jags in Jacksonville.
Plus, we had. I mean, Davis Mills was our leading rusher. If that says anything,
Right.
Like, I mean,
Yeah,
come on.
Damian Pierce being out, I think, was a big gap in your lineup there.
Yeah,
But I mean, it was once you got to like the middle of the second quarter, it was sort of a boring game.
What's that thing you guys do when you got both those quarterbacks out there and you're trying to like, oh, this one's gonna run, that one's gonna run, and all this thing? Like, what
Is
is
that called the desperation package?
What is that?
Josh said something. He finally gets what I was saying. Pep Hamilton is a complete idiot. Like, he should never ever be able to be allowed to call another NFL offense in his whole career. Like, he is so dumb. Everybody knows what's going to happen. Jeff Driscoll is coming out. They're going to run it. I don't understand why Jeff Driscoll needs to be there for them to hand the ball off the middle on third.
Yeah,
and
that's
one.
what I didn't get. They never once had Driscoll pass it to.
They did one. And he dropped it. But yeah, it's dumb. It's idiotic. It's called the idiotic system. That's what you do. Get two quarterbacks who should never be on a football team and try to play football. That's what it's called. Terrible. Charles Barkley style. Terrible.
That's
But
terrible.
yeah. There ain't much I can say, but what Josh didn't. The Texans should help me get this tax exempt for all this money I'm giving to charity. Like, I mean, guys are killing me. But also, Josh, you got your picture.
I do. I do. Let me see if I can share it here. Hold on a sec.
Oh God,
We'll
I'm
just
scared to look
debut.
at Josh's camera roll.
Like Nico,
It's like
right,
selfies of Josh, like.
Nope, it's just going to be the one picture, so don't worry.
Nico's right. By the third quarter, they were bringing random fans to play QB. Yeah, you're right.
For the next, how long do we say, Matt? I forget how long we said.
7 days. 7 days.
Yeah, 4 weeks.
This will be your new profile picture for the next 7 days. So
I love
enjoy.
it. And already paid my $20 to head on Youth Impact.
Yeah,
Nice.
that was a fun bet. We'll do it again next year. That's my promise to you. We'll make that same bet again next year and see what happens. So.
Well,
But I do gotta
Texans
say, Jalen Petrie is a beast.
Jalen Petrie is a cheater.
Don't you go there?
Yeah,
That was
come on his gloves, bro. We all saw it. Everyone's
that
seen
was
it.
a touchdown celebration. Don't
Mhm.
put down the tinfoil hat there, Clint House. All right.
That was a fun. There was a couple fun threads on the internet about that. But yeah, So Jalen Petrie, he got one. So
Only safety in NFL history to have 125 tackles and 5 interceptions as a rookie.
yeah, I could probably do that too if I had some stickum on my gloves, and it's pretty good shape. But so listen, the Jaguars won the game. They found a way to do it. That's been the story.
Found a way, man. Sounds like this one was gift
Well,
wrapped to
listen.
you.
The Jaguars are going to hate on me. Other Jaguar fans are going to hate on me a little bit. I'm going to sound like the Agent Ha of Jaguar fans in this segment a little bit. Trevor Lawrence did not play well.
No,
he did not have a good game.
Oh, I know. I'm a fantasy owner of Trevor Lawrence. That son of a bitch.
Trevor Lawrence did not play well. That's my big concern coming out of that game is that is the one path to victory that the Tennessee Titans have is if Trevor goes out there and lays an egg.
I don't know. I wouldn't go that far.
Don't worry about it. There ain't nobody who could stop him next week.
In the past, I mean, granted, it's only been 2 seasons.
But
he's never been good against the Texans.
No, listen, there were a couple throws on Sunday.
It is impossible to lay an egg against this Tennessee Titans defense next week.
Dude,
it will be impossible. Okay, who's that?
He was the hottest quarterback going
last week. The first time we played, who was that one receiver? It wasn't Christian Kirk. Who's that other guy?
Zay Jones.
Zay Jones. But who's the other guy that you guys? He's thrown to somebody that's like
Evan Ingram.
Ingram was the one who torched us.
That guy.
No, not the tight end. Who was it? The
tight
end? I don't know.
It was Evan.
Mark Jones. Zay Jones.
Everyone has different uniform numbers now, so it throws me off. But there was somebody who freaking had 3 touchdowns against the Titans. That guy's gonna go crazy.
That was Evan Ingram.
Yeah, he's having good connections with the receivers lately. He's really connecting with them.
So Sam, did I not text you at the beginning of the game and say Trevor's sailing balls again high? Yeah. And he was throwing high. He's throwing off his back foot, which is stuff that he was doing in the beginning of the season and last year. I had the thought in my head a little bit coming into the game that a few extra days of rest, would that be good or bad for a team that was in a really good rhythm before they had those couple extra days off, right? Because that's always the thing that you think about. You rest your players, you get a couple extra days. Is that going to get them off track when they're in a rhythm? And it did look like maybe that's what affected Lawrence a little bit. Lawrence has got to come out and Lawrence doesn't have to come out and throw 5 touchdowns to beat the Titans. What he can't do is come out and throw gift wrapped interceptions to Tennessee, right? If he can not turn the ball over.
The only guy who the only one you got to worry about is 31. If you just don't throw towards Kevin Byard, you're good.
I hope you're right, but we'll see.
Go ahead, Sam.
So, back to the Damar Hamlin stuff. I guess he has a fundraiser for a daycare center in McKees Rocks, Pennsylvania that he's had going for a while. His goal was $2,500, and people keep sharing it, and it's up to $302,000 in his name.
Oh, wow.
In this short amount of time. There's 13.8 thousand donations.
It's sad that a tragedy had to get people to do this, but good. That's a great thing.
Yeah. It's something that he was doing for himself. It was like a toy drive for the Chasing M's Foundation.
Yep. He started when he was a senior at Pitt. That's the article I was reading earlier.
And he was trying to raise $2,500, and he is now up to $302,315.
Well, Bengals and Bills fans are known for being very generous in those sorts of things.
Well,
and the NFL has a statement. Tonight's Buffalo Bills Cincinnati Bengals game has been postponed after Buffalo Bills Damar Hamlin collapsed. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell announced. Hamlin received immediate medical attention on the field by a team and independent medical staff and local paramedics. He was then transported to a local hospital where he is in critical conditions. Our thoughts are with Damar and the Buffalo Bills. We will provide more information as it becomes available. The NFL has been in constant communication with the NFL Players Association, which is in agreement with postponing this game. So those are the things that kind of go hand in hand. A lot of people are mad at the NFL for taking so long, but you're dealing with union, you're dealing with TV, You're dealing with other
It's a
teams.
billion-dollar business. It can't
Right.
turn on
It's
its own.
like it's like I said, everyone's quick to just start saying shame on you
Right.
without talking
Right.
about all, without
And
even
this
realizing
has
the
never
logistics.
happened. This
It's
has
not
never
like
happened.
that. Well, that's the thing. It's like, here's the thing. I might agree with you if you do the shame on you if they actually got the people out there and started
Right.
playing the game, but they never did. They never went back out on the field. They never did all that stuff.
I will say this: they got people out to warm up, and the coaches, I guess, came out. Were like, no, we don't want to do this. So I do think that.
Well, listen, there was an element of sort of shell shock happening.
Well, here's the other
even
thing
at that
too, is
point.
that there's been players who got hurt and got taken to hospitals, and they were kind of just following the same steps that when that happens. But like, there was never any sort of like, hey, we're resuming play. There was never any. I think they just sort of follow these things. And here's the thing: you can just wait and see on this, because the more important thing is seeing what happens to the player, right? So it's like, I'm not going to be upset with the NFL without making an official suspension of the game until an hour later. There's
As long as nobody's on the field playing.
Exactly. That's the only reason why I would say shame on you, is that they actually started playing, kept going, and all of a sudden the guy, like, God forbid the worst happens, and now it's like, hey, they're in the fourth quarter and we just found our teammate died. That's where you got to get in this. But they never did. They never.
Well, there's also an element when something like that happens, or even like something where there's a violent act, like a shooting or something. People don't understand that the majority of people in a situation like that, they don't take rapid action. Everyone freezes and they don't know what to do, and you just see people in a state of shock. And I think, again, obviously, like, this isn't some sort of a mass shooting thing, but I do think there's an element. This was so shocking to people that there was a little bit of a window where people were like, okay, what do we do?
Like Sam said, this has never happened before.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's not a rule book of, okay, if a player almost dies on the field, this is what you do.
Right.
So yeah.
We're not going to say dies. We're not putting that in the universe.
No, exactly.
Goes into cardiac arrest.
Well, I mean, but let's be frank though. The man was close to death. I mean, that you don't get shocked back into life. And
he is currently in critical condition. This guy is not doing well right now.
He is. Yeah. There's a machine breathing for him. So I mean, this is a life or death situation, and I hope he makes it through. But
and to kind of piggyback off of Josh, people can say football is just a physical game, but it's also mental. And like if your head's not in the game,
you're risking further injury. You just
not only that, but you saw the look of the Bills players on the side, like they were
even
ready
the
to go back and play. Like everyone was like, "What are you talking
about?"
Like,
Joe Burrow was in tears. Like there's a lot of people.
Go back look and find the pictures of Josh Allen's face as he's sitting on the sideline.
I mean, they're showing them on ESPN right now. They're showing clips of everybody. Yeah, right now it's not good.
It's terrible. But to finish what Sam was saying, we got the Colts. Josh, you want to make a bet? Because I know my team's gonna win. So
no way, dude. It's a tie. You guys know it's gonna be a tie. Now it better be a tie. I'm gonna be really upset if it isn't a tie.
It's not gonna be a tie.
I'm going out like John, man. You guys are gonna win. So what we betting?
$20 youth impact. Head on youth impact.
That you guys gonna win?
Josh is taking the Texans.
If we win, you pay $20.
I'm taking the Texans. I'm going, Texans, baby. Texans, baby.
Yeah. I think we're gonna win this game. They're trying to get a top 5 pick, if not top 3.
Yeah.
So I don't see them winning this game.
What do you think, Sam? Have you got an extra ticket to that Titans game?
So we're good.
I actually do, but I'm not
going
to
have
take
Sammy Ellinger starting. So yeah, it's a wrap.
I'll take a Matt Ryan fan.
Well, there we go. Perfect.
As long as you
wouldn't be the first time.
That's right. But I would never take a Titans fan to a Titans game. Not this one. No way. No way. Never.
But I would still donate, Matt.
Hey Sam, can I give you a pitch though? Every game I go to, the team I'm rooting for loses. Every game I go to in person, the team.
See, but I don't trust you to not secretly root for the Jaguars in your head.
See, but here's the thing: the football gods know that where my heart's at. That's the other thing. They know what I really. The football gods know what I'm really thinking. So.
I don't know. No, I would never take a Titans fan. And I know you're not going to come all the way down here anyways. Come on.
I ain't going to fly out to Florida like Friday night and do all that stuff. I can't book a Southwest flight to save my life.
There you go.
So, hey, Matt, is your team going to draft CJ Stroud?
No, Bryce Young.
Oh, so you agree that all Ohio State quarterbacks suck?
So Bryce Young
Yeah,
gets the
only
honor of
because
being
it was
thrown.
Ohio State. That's the only reason why.
We're Josh Senior and Matt. Were you guys about to make a bet?
We already made it. $20.
$20 if
loser,
the Texans win.
If Josh loses, he pays $20 to head on you.
Well, he took the Texans, so you got the Colts then, right?
No, he knows better.
Well, I don't understand. Like, what happens now? You guys were both predicting the Texans to lose. How does this work? Or the Texans to win? How does that work?
We both know that he's just gonna pay the charity. He's gonna take pity on me because all season I've been paying.
So if the Texans win, nobody pays. What's going on?
I'm just gonna pay anyway. So yeah, I'm not picking the Colts to win. So I'm gonna pay anyway.
$10 a piece. There you go.
Okay, it's fine.
Pay $20 to not have to watch the game. So if I donate, can I just?
Oh yeah, that game's getting real good.
All right. Well, does anyone have anything else to add?
Well, is there going to be a Titans Jags bet going on there?
That's the same one. It's
Yeah.
the same one Josh Senior made.
No, I want to bet with RJ. If you're listening, RJ, put your money where your mouth is. You're talking a lot in the fan battle group, but let's go, brother.
Oh man.
No, he's not betting. He's not gonna bet. He's not gonna bet.
I know
He's
you're
just
gonna
like
bet.
Ray. He's just like Ray.
As my
just like Ray.
6-year-old
He
daughter
ain't
would say, he's full of baloney.
Hey,
Either
next
that-
time we see Firestone, he's going to have a red, white, and blue beard. so-
Yep. He's got to pay up his debt.
Yep.
All right. Well, listen, let's go around the horn and say where to find y'all on social medias. Josh Allen.
I am on Twitter at Josh Gives Up, on the Jaguar, Tuesdays, sometimes Thursdays, and this Saturday at 8:15 p.m. I will be down at TIA Bank Field, screaming like a banshee.
Me too.
Me too.
Josh
Hopefully.
Senior.
You can find me at I am Josh Senior, and tomorrow on the podcast is You Don't Know Jack podcast at 9 Eastern time.
Agent Hall.
You can find me at I'm glad this season is over.
You nearest NSA.
You can find me in your Amazon Alexa, listening to you yell at your kids.
Watching you scroll on Facebook.
You know, Sam, when that FBI comes banging down your door, don't say we didn't warn you.
I'm gonna say I know Agent Ha sent you.
Don't say we didn't warn you.
All I'll say is send back.
They'd be like,
John acting like what's his name?
Pull back, boys. She's a sad Jags fan.
Right.
All right, Matt. Where do we
heard
find
you.
you?
Listen, I hear all the times that you're sitting there crying about Jalen Ramsey being gone. You can pretend, but I hear it. I hear it through your Alexa.
In the arms of the angel.
Matt, where do we find you?
You can find me at A1 Day One Texans, and you can find me on the Texans Fan Battle podcast. Make sure to join in on next week. We're going to have the best Texans quarterback ever, Matt Schaub, on the podcast. So,
Yo, that's crazy. That's a good get.
That's cool. That's really cool.
And he'll be on here, right? Next season?
he will in
Are
off
you gonna
season.
I'm gonna have to look up his record
wanna-
against the Jags and remind
I'd
him
like
if
to
it's
see that.
losing.
Like,
I think he's like over 500%. So
I'd like to see you guys get like all of that, like the 2010s, like the Schaub, Arian Foster. Like
we've
been trying to get
Andre Johnson.
Arian Foster for a long time.
That'd be cool though.
He don't like to touch football anymore.
Get Deshaun Watson.
But you can no thanks. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Sammy Football with an I. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. It's AFC SFB, that stands for FC South Fan Battle. And make sure you check out all of our partner podcasts as we have named on the Fan Battle Network. We thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you week 18 when the Jaguars finally clinch the division.
Same with Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, I got money on the line.